Hey guys, Deepcool's MF 120 fans. Let's take a look. This is the outside box. Gives you a good look at how the fans look. Gives you some basic info. We all know what's up with that. Anyway, what's inside is another box. There it is. Now this box is super cool. Opens up. You got two fans. These swing out. This guy right here, you see, it's got some basic info on it. Contents of the box, basic instructions, so on and so forth. Third fan, controller. Underneath that is another box. It has your goodies in it, wires, screws, stuff like that. You got 3 fan wires, 5-pin on one end, mini USB on the other, 4-pin for the controller to go to the motherboard to control your PWM, speed of the fans. This is where you get your power from. Controller hooks up via SATA. Then plugs into the controller. We have that 2-pin little plug there. These, you're probably all familiar with these. Rubber attaching case, you know what they are. These are screws to attach the fan to a radiator, if you should so choose to do so for some reason. Velcro and some screws to attach the controller to your case. That's what's in that. So, as far as packaging goes, now I don't know if you can see it or not, but right in the middle of the fan, can you see it? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. But right there in the middle of the logo, the cardboard from the package has rubbed on it, and it's got like a shiny spot that goes the entire length of the logo there. And it's on all of the fans. Hopefully in the future they can put some kind of plastic or something like that on the fans in order to prevent that from happening, because the last thing you want when you spend this much money on a set of fans is for them to be damaged before you even get them. The fans themselves are, as you can see, they are sexy. These fans are gorgeous. These might be my favorite fans to look at ever. I love them. These are some gorgeous fans. I would probably get them just to look at them, because I mean they're gorgeous, and they're made. This part of it is aluminum, which I'm obviously a huge fan of aluminum. It's kind of my thing. It's what I love. Anyway, there you go. That's a good look at the fan. The controller. This portion of the controller right here, it lights up the same color and blinks, etc., with the fans. Backside, 4-pin for the PWM, 2-pin for the power, and then the 3 for the fans. Now this controller, like I said, it gets power from SATA and it gets the PWM from the motherboard. The controlling though happens via Wi-Fi with an app. The app itself is easy to use. I found it on Google Play. It worked the first time I tried it. Its user interface is easy to use. There's no problem with the app itself, at least not in my experience. It did what it was supposed to do, and it was easy to use. Now, it does have to be over Wi-Fi on your phone. You can't control them with your computer, as far as I know. I tried to even use my cell phone via the cellular service, and it wouldn't work via cellular service, so I'm assuming it has to be Wi-Fi. So if you're in a place where there's no Wi-Fi, good luck controlling your fans. Like, I go to PDX LAN quite often and there's no Wi-Fi there, so I would not be able to control my fans if I were using these fans at PDX LAN in one of my show rigs. That to me is a huge letdown. I would really like to see these to be able to hook up to the motherboard and be controlled from your computer, not only so that you don't have to have Wi-Fi, but because the way they are now, you cannot sync these fans with other stuff in your computer that are RGB, like your RAM, other fans, etc., etc. There's just, you can't sync them. So these are going to be doing one thing, and the rest of your computer is going to be doing another thing. Another thing is, as I showed you, this controller is only good for these 3 fans. So if you get more fans, they do come with a controller, but then you're going to have 2 controllers in your computer, taking up more space. And with cases getting smaller and smaller, people going more the ITX route or MATX, you know, more space is just, it's very precious. And I'd really like for them to be able to expand, you know, make it so that these can control more than just the 3 fans. And the ports aren't numbered. This is not a smart controller. It does not know the position of each fan, so if you set it to whatever your Comet setting or whatever, all the fans are going to be doing the same thing at the same time. So you can't like have it start, the light start at the top and go down to the bottom, or start at the bottom and go to the top, or side to whatever. That is non-existent as far as the controls go. They're all going to be doing the same thing at the same time. Another disappointment. The cables for the fans plug in right there, right out in the open. So that, I mean, you got these fans hooked up, right? And then you got this cable coming right out of the front of them. There's no way to hide it. There's no getting around that. It's gonna be right out in the open. And that, and again, to me, is another big letdown. I wish they would have come up with another way of doing the cable for them. I'm just not a fan of how they did the cables. Not a fan of how they are controlled. They have good airflow. The RPMs are from 500 to 2200 RPMs. Anything over 1,000, you're going to have some noise. You know, I think up at towards 2200, they got pretty darn noisy. But I mean, you're moving at 2200 RPMs. You're moving a good amount of air. The air itself is going to make noise. That's just the way it is. The airflow is good. Static pressure. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an engineer. I can't tell you the specific static pressure of these fans, but there's no frame on them, there's no venturi, there's no way to direct that airflow, so I'm going to assume that the static pressure on these fans is non-existent. They do supply you with radiator screws, but in my opinion, if you're going to use these on a radiator, you're going to want some good static pressure fans on the other side of the radiator, unless you've got, you know, like a 360 radiator and you're only cooling your CPU and you're not overclocking, then fine, you can use these fans and probably not have to worry about anything else. But in my opinion, you're going to want some good static pressure fans on the other side of the radiator to help get that cooling where you want it. Because in my opinion, these are more for your case airflow, or if you are going to put them on a radiator, they're more just for the looks, because they are sexy fans. Aside from the plug coming straight out of the front of them, they are sexy fans. You know, the price tag on these, I paid $110 for these 3 fans, which is in the same ballpark as other RGB fans. In my opinion, these do not offer the same value as other RGB fans do, though. These, you know, if this was more, let's say in the $60 range, that would be a more acceptable price range for me. It's going to be really hard for me to justify $110 for these fans, given the flaws that I've seen and the lack of static pressure. You know, I have first player fans that are a lot like these. You know, they're open. I call them open frame fans, and those first player fans are $6 a piece. Now, granted, they're not RGB and they're not made of aluminum, you know, but $6 versus 30 something dollars each. I mean, that's a huge difference. And you know, whether or not you got 20 something dollars worth of added value here, I'll let you decide. But I mean, it would be very hard to talk now that I've got to use them and I have hands-on experience with them. I don't think that I would be spending $110 on these fans. I just can't justify it with what is offered at this point. In the future, if they make it to where the controller can hook up to your motherboard and you can control the RGB from your motherboard, that would be a huge bonus. A great step in the right direction. The wire coming out the front, it would be great if they would address that somehow as well. I don't know how they would do it. Again, I'm not an engineer. I'm not going to sit down and try and figure it out myself. But if they could come up with another way to do the wires, that would be awesome too. I just don't like the way that they protrude right out of the front of the fan. The front of the fan is the sexy part of the fan, right? So why would you have a wire shoved right out the front of the fan? That just, to me, it ruins what is the most important part about these fans. The other thing is this logo here. I understand it's their logo. They want to put a logo on their fan. It's, you know, that's great, and it wouldn't be too hard for someone like myself to cover that up with something else. But I don't know. I've seen other ones where they have custom ones too. I was told that if you talk to Deepcool about it, you can have a different logo put on here. I have seen other logos on the front of theirs, but you know, I didn't get that option, so I have this logo on it, and it is what it is. But I would probably change it. You know, I'd probably try to do something else to put there, because I don't know, it's not my logo. So, and these fans are going to be right out visible. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. You get the idea. These are great looking fans, especially right as you see them right now, right? They look great. Whether they're $110 fans for the three of them, you know, I'll let you choose. That's the whole point of the review, right? Take from this as you will. That being said, thank you to Deepcool for, you know, letting me do this review. I really appreciate the support of my channel. I'm going to probably be using these fans in a project in the future. You know, they are aluminum. They are good looking fans. Whether or not I'll take that project to PDX land, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to control the lights when I'm there. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm really torn with these fans. I want to love them. I really do. They're right up my alley. I've wanted these fans for over a year now. I'm really torn. I feel like they got rushed, or they just basically just didn't flat out put enough effort into them. I don't know, but I'll let you decide. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for more reviews. I've got some Team Group Nighthawk RGB RAM I'm going to be reviewing soon. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.